You know that feeling when you're just completely overwhelmed by an emotion? It's like you're caught in a current and everything else just kind of fades into the background. Well, today we're going to dive into a really powerful poem that captures that exact feeling. It's a journey, one that starts in total confusion but ends up somewhere pretty surprising, a place of freedom. So let's get into it.
So the poem kicks off with just this one powerful line, caught up in emotion. I mean, it really feels like a trap, doesn't it? It sounds like something you'd want to escape from. But as we're about to see, what starts out looking like a problem, well, it might just be the very thing that helps us figure out who we really are.
All right, so where does this whole journey start? Well, the speaker calls it a runny time, and that's such a great description, right? It's this place where everything feels, well, runny. It's fluid, it's confusing, and it's just really hard to get a grip on anything.
And right away, we get this really interesting paradox. Because even in the middle of this chaotic, blurry running time, the speaker finds what they call the best of moment. Think about that. It's like this one single perfect point right in the middle of all the mess. It kind of suggests that, hey, maybe there's something really valuable to be found right here in the chaos.
Yeah, this idea of a runny time is absolutely key to understanding what's going on. It's the state where all the normal boundaries we use to make sense of things, past, present, future, they just dissolve. It all blurs together. Everything feels like it's happening at once, which, that's exactly what it feels like when you're completely swamped by a big emotion, right?
Okay, so this feeling then builds into this huge internal conflict for the speaker. And this is where we really get to the heart of the poem, to its core tension. It's this feeling of being a solid, fixed person in a world that is just constantly always moving.
I am standing still. The speaker has this sense of inner stillness. It's like in the middle of all that emotional chaos, there's a part of them that feels totally constant, like an anchor in a storm. It's almost a declaration, isn't it? I am here. I am me. I am not moving.
But then, boom, right after that, we get the total opposite. The speaker says they're also constantly changing in a dynamic set. So they're part of this ever-moving world. And what's so cool here is that the poem isn't trying to solve this. It's not a contradiction that needs fixing. It's a paradox that you just live inside.
So you can really see that core conflict laid out here. On one side, you've got the self, that feeling of stillness. I'm standing still. And on the other side, you've got the world, which is all about movement. It's constantly changing, a dynamic set. It's even running from my feet. So the big question is, how can you be both? How can you be perfectly still and in constant motion at the exact same time? That's the puzzle that's really pushing the speaker on this journey.
So what do you do when you feel torn in two like that? Well, the speaker does something I think a lot of us can relate to. They start looking for the answer in someone else, They begin the search for grounding, looking for a reflection of themselves that might make them feel whole again.
And this is where you get this moment of just raw vulnerability. See me as one who wants to be loved. At its core, this whole search is about a super fundamental human need, right? We all want connection. We want to be seen and to be loved. The speaker is basically saying, please, just see me, because maybe if you see me, I can finally see myself.
And it goes even deeper than that. It's not just about wanting to be loved. It's about finding their lost nature. They truly believe that their real self, their true essence, isn't actually inside of them. They think it's out there, waiting to be found, reflected back at them in someone else's eyes.
And then we hit it. This is the poem's huge, dramatic turning point. Is this true? But not. Wow. That single line is this incredible moment of self-doubt, of questioning everything. Right when they're about to hand over their entire identity to someone else, this little flicker of doubt just sparks up. It's like this quiet, powerful rebellion against that whole idea.
And that little spark leads to this massive realization. This is an illusion. The whole idea of finding your complete self in another person, it's an illusion. It's a really tempting idea, for sure, a beautiful one even. But in the end, it's just a trap. And realizing that, well, that changes absolutely everything.
So what happens next is this incredible shift in perspective. Instead of fighting that feeling, instead of trying to escape from being caught up in emotion, the speaker does a total 180. They turn around and they embrace it. And this is that amazing moment where the problem actually becomes the solution.
Honestly, this is the real climax of the poem. The very thing that started this whole mess, the thing that felt like a curse, being caught up in emotion, is now reclaimed. It's not a problem anymore. It's their nature. In fact, it's the best of me. This is just a radical act of self-acceptance. It's not a flaw to be fixed. It's their superpower. And once they accept this about themselves, it totally unlocks a new way of thinking about relationships. It's all about authenticity now. I want you to be you and me to be me. It's like, okay, no more illusions, no more trying to be something we're not. Let's just be real, far from lie, and be kind to each other based on who we actually are.
All right, and this brings us to the poem's final destination, this really transcendent state. So what's the ultimate payoff? What happens when you fully, truly accept your emotional self? Well, you find a whole new kind of freedom.
Remember way back at the beginning, that chaotic, runny time? Well, by finally embracing it, the speaker isn't trapped by it anymore. They're no longer its prisoner. Now they are free of time. It's not about being stuck to a rigid ticking clock. It's about being liberated by the deep, fluid, emotional time they live.
So here you can see the whole journey, side by side. It's an incredible transformation. What started out as a problem, as not the best of time, is completely flipped on its head. By the end, the speaker is saying that you're actually happier if people know you as the person who gets caught up in emotion. It's gone from a bug to a feature, for sure.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? Really, this whole poem is a roadmap. It shows us the path from seeing our emotions as this chaotic thing that traps us to understanding that, actually, they're the very core of our identity. And when we finally embrace them, that's what sets us free.
And that leaves us with a really powerful question to think about for ourselves. The next time you feel completely caught up in something, overwhelmed, are you really trapped? Or could it be that you're actually on the verge of discovering the very best part of who you are?